The Denver Broncos are playing meaningful football in the month of December. They're above 500 in the month of December, and they just laid out their plan for making the playoffs and making a deep run in the playoffs. But if we're being honest, we know that no one still believes, and all you got to do is turn on ESPN, and you will hear the national media say a word that if I hear one more time, I'm going to lose my ever-loving mind, and that is this dreaded word of sustainability. So many times we're hearing people say, hey, is this actually a sustainable run? How sustainable is this? And you don't have to just look at ESPN. Like, sadly, even like local Denver media are making claims that this isn't a sustainable run. Even just the fan came out and said, how sustainable is this win streak? And we know the fan hasn't been good since they fired D-Mac. Free D-Mac. I'm glad he's on Altitude. He's the best broadcaster ever. If you don't listen, you got to check him out. But I think there is something deeply, deeply disrespectful about saying this word sustainable when we're playing incredible football. We have played 5 of the toughest teams in the NFL with winning records, all who are making playoff pushes now. The Green Bay Packers are back in the playoff hunt. Obviously, former MVPs. We have the cover of Madden Football, yet this word sustainability comes out there like we are some lucky fluke, like, oh, we just flipped the coin and it landed 10 times in a row. That's not sustainable. It's going to be tails next time they flip it. And that is absolutely bogus and ridiculous and shows a deep level of disrespect for this team that I don't think you see with other people. I just spent a couple of seconds on my iPad Googling different players who've had hot streaks and the word sustainable, and nothing pops up on Google News. Like, even when you go back to the years when it started, like, no one was saying, is Steph Curry sustainable or is Pat Mahomes sustainable? There is a deep respect that comes with this whole sustainability thing that I think as Broncos fans, we need to push back on, because it is sustainable. It is not a fluke. Everything that's happening is by design, and we're going to break it down in this. So I think the big principle here to understand is, and this is something that other people in the national media just don't understand, is what distinguishes a great coach from a good coach, from a rah-rah coach, is great coaches know what you're good at and they don't let you do it. They, when Sean Payton is prepping for the Cleveland Browns, he says, okay, what are they best at? Well, guess what they're not doing on Sunday? That thing that they're best at. So yeah, I know Russell Wilson didn't throw a ton of passes to wide receivers this Sunday, and everyone's like, that's not sustainable. That's a high school quarterback. You got to throw the ball to win the ball. Well, guess what Cleveland Browns are best at? Stopping the pass. So guess what you shouldn't do if you don't have to? You shouldn't pass. Guess who is a league MVP candidate before Garrett Bowles totally shut him down? And that's Myles Garrett. So guess what you shouldn't let him do? Like, do 6-step drops and let Russ just get toasted back there. So this idea that we can't throw, so we're not throwing, isn't true whatsoever. What has happened over these weeks is that Sean Payton is playing to the weakness of our opponent and the strength of our team. And there's no other way of looking at it than that Cleveland Browns are literally the best defense in the NFL and the best pass defense in the NFL. So you should run the ball a whole heck of a lot. And that's what we did. And that's why we got a definitive dub, even though the ESPN matchup predictor said that the Browns had a 60% chance of beating the Broncos. And it wasn't even close. And that is because we had a coach who looks at the team coming up and says, whatever that team is good at, they are not doing that on Sunday. I'll make them do whatever they're bad at. And that is the converse of that coin, like the backside of that coin, is why someone like Nathaniel Hackett flamed out, is that great coaches not only know how to identify your weakness, but then they know how to like change their team and adapt their team to just put as much pressure on that weakness as possible. And so I truly think that if Nathaniel Hackett has Aaron Rodgers, if he spent a couple more days on that darkness retreat and didn't tear his ACL, I think Nathaniel Hackett and the Jets would be making a far run. The issue with Nathaniel Hackett is he can do one thing really, really well, but he doesn't know when you don't have your your right hook. He doesn't know how to throw anything else. So he is very good at what he plans, but he doesn't know how to do those other things. And I think that's really what has made this Broncos run just such an absolute blast. And if you look here at Vance Joseph has done this exact same thing. So you're looking here and take a look at all of these teams that we've played. The other thing you hear all the time about the sustainability argument is, well, we can't let these teams run on us all this time. They're just running the rock all over us. That's just a fluke. One of these times it's going to bite us in the butt. What if letting them run on us isn't an accident, but it's what the system was designed to do? If you are stopping the pass and you're putting all your eggs in that basket, you obviously are going to open up a lot of run lanes. And we've had 5 games in a row where that hasn't been a deal. Like, we've taken away the pass. And so what Vance Joseph has said is, yeah, I see Miami and that wasn't the best, but I see Minnesota Vikings real good at throwing the ball. Buffalo Bills real good at throwing the ball. Kansas City Chiefs real good at throwing the ball. Even Green Bay Packers real good at throwing the ball. So guess what? We're not going to let them do. We're not going to let them throw the ball. We're going to make them drive the ball 3 yards a carry. Take that as much as you want, and we'll see how that goes when you get within the 10-yard line. And how's that gone? Like, how's that working out for those 5 teams who've taken that L on the way out? So this is something that, and you look here at kind of the weaknesses that we've been able to exploit, and this is their skill with running the rock. And you look here that the Jets aren't a good running team, the Vikings aren't a good running team, the Packers aren't a good running team, the Chiefs aren't a good running team. And so guess what we said? We're going to make you do what you're not good at. And so, yes, this is sustainable. I'm here to tell you that. And 5 games in a row in the NFL is incredibly hard to do. And we've done it not by accident. It's not a fluke. It's by design. We're going to the playoffs. This is the last time I'm going to be mad all week. And it's not mad. It's just confidence in this team. We're in it to win it. Broncos country, we're going to the playoffs. I hope you're with us. Let's ride.